Hello fellow compounders, welcome back. If you've ever looked at the soaring skyscrapers of Wall Street and wondered, how do I get a piece of that action? Then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets of the financial world and help you take your first step towards becoming a savvy investor. Picture this. You, owning a tiny piece of 500 of America's largest and best companies. Sounds pretty cool, right? That's what investing in the S&P 500 can do for you. It's like having a miniature piece or slice of America's largest businesses right in your investment portfolio. But what is the S&P 500, you ask? How do you invest in it, and why would you want to? Well, stick around, because we're about to break it all down in a simple, easy to understand way. From the role of the S&P 500 in the financial world to why Warren Buffett, yes, Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha himself, recommends it for most investors. And we're not stopping there. We'll walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to actually make the investment. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor, and you're responsible for your own financial decisions. Let's start with the basics. What is the S&P 500? It's an index comprising of 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the United States, making it a key measure of the U.S. stock market's health. The index is weighted by the size of how much each company is worth. It contains business in sectors spanning technology, healthcare, consumer discretionary, industrials, and more. Investing in the S&P 500 means investing in a cross-section of the U.S. economy. But why invest in the S&P 500? Which companies are included? The top 10 holdings are Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Meta Platforms, ExxonMobil, and United Health Group. The top 10 holdings make up around 29% of the market capitalization of the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the advantages of buying the S&P 500. First, investing in the S&P 500 offers broad diversification. With 500 different companies in the mix, you're spreading risk across many stocks, rather than betting on a single company or a handful of companies. Second, it's an accessible way for beginners to start investing. You can buy the S&P 500 through various mutual funds or ETFs, exchange-traded funds that track the index, making it a straightforward process. This can be done at a very low cost. Depending on the fund, it will cost in the range of 3 to 10 basis points. That's 0.03% to 0.10% annually. So, if you invested $1,000 in a fund that charged 0.03%, your annual cost would be 30 cents. That's 30 cents for a $1,000 investment. Third, historically, the S&P 500 has provided solid returns with an average annual return of around 10% before inflation over the past century. This is equivalent to 7% real return. That means after accounting for inflation of around 3%. Remember though, past performance isn't a guarantee of future returns. Fourth, let's talk about the key reason why many choose to invest in the S&P 500. Studies have shown that a staggering 91% of active fund managers fail to outperform the S&P 500 over 10 years. This was famously highlighted by Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors, in a famous bet he did. I'll tell you more about this later. Now, let's look at the disadvantages. The S&P isn't without risk or disadvantages. When the market falls, your investment will likely to follow suit. Additionally, while the index is diversified, it only includes U.S. companies. So if you're looking for global exposure, you'll need to consider adding additional investments. Investing in the S&P 500 can be done via mutual funds or exchange-traded funds, ETFs. On the mutual fund side, notable options include the Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund, ticker VFIAX, with an expense ratio of 0.04%. Second, the Fidelity S&P 500 Index Fund, ticker symbol FXAIX, with an expense ratio of 1.5 basis points or 0.015%. And also, the Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund, ticker symbol SWPPX, with an expense ratio of 0.02% or 2 basis points. If exchange-traded funds are more your thing, consider the Spider S&P 500 ETF, SPY, with an expense ratio of 9.45 basis points. Second, the iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, ticker symbol IVV, with an expense ratio of 3 basis points, or the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, ticker VOO, with an expense ratio of 0.03%, 3 basis points. I prefer using ETFs instead of mutual funds, so my portfolio has both VOO and IVV. I did a video explaining the differences between mutual funds and ETFs. Here's the link. Coming back to Warren Buffett. In 2007, Warren Buffett made a very famous bet of $1 million that the S&P could outperform a collection of hedge funds over 10 years. By 2017, guess what? The index won. The S&P 500 index had an average annual return of 7.1%, while the collection of hedge funds only had an average annual return of 2.2%. This story serves as a powerful demonstration of the strength of passive investing and broad market exposure. So, how can you invest in the S&P 500? Here's a step-by-step guide. Number 1, open a brokerage account. Many platforms are available online with different features and fee structures. Here's a list of the brokers that I use: Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Merrill Lynch, M1 Finance, and Robinhood. I'll put the links in the description below. Number 2, deposit funds into your account. That's the money that you're going to invest. 3, choose a fund that tracks the S&P 500. I suggest using the one with the lowest cost. I use VOO or IVV. 4, buy the fund using a strategy called dollar cost averaging, where you invest a set amount at regular intervals, either like once a month or twice a month, but over a long period of time. So this will help you mitigate the impact of short-term price fluctuations. And 5, monitor your investment at least once a year. And that's it. So there you have it. Investing in the S&P 500 gives you a diverse portfolio, the potential for solid returns, and the opportunity to outperform most active fund managers. But like any investment, it comes with risk. Always do your research, consider your financial goals and risk tolerance, and consult with a financial advisor if you think you need to. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care.